Hello and welcome to Agents of Impact. I am your host Akash Mishra. In this podcast, we celebrate the remarkable people harnessing Salesforce and Salesforce's agent force to redefine service, support, and impact across the world. Whether it's nonprofits, global enterprises, public service, or innovation hubs, we bring you conversations with the change makers behind the platforms. The one drives real transformation, one meaningful interaction at a time. And today I'm joined by a very special guest, Trish Perkins. She's a Salesforce MVP, Hall of Fame, and Executive Director at World's Touch, an NGO focused on intercultural communication and peace building, runs her own Salesforce consulting, is specializing in technology solutions for nonprofits, both in the US and internationally. This is my personal comment. Trish combines professional expertise with heartfelt community engagement, inspiring others to use technology for social impact. So, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast, Trish. And we are so humble. We are like overwhelmed to have you here. Such a legend, such a legend in the nonprofit space. I'll start with the first question that I have today. So, we want to know more about your journey, what path led you into the space of Salesforce and into the life of service and impact.
So I had a long journey before I got to Salesforce, by the way. I was 55 years old when I finally got into Salesforce. Um, I was working for the International House here, and we were trying to set up um, an what do you call it? Where they meet people who are immigrants,
Yep.
and they try to get them housing, and they try to make sure that they've got cars and whatever. And I think at that point I ran into Salesforce somehow. I don't exactly know how, but because it's been quite a while. I was 55 at the time, and now I'm 79. But I decided that Salesforce was the most acceptable app to set up a call center, to set up a someplace where the immigrants would come and sit down and talk about their problems and get help. So it's called the International House at that point. Yes.
Amazing. Next question that I have is your experience using AI, and have you tried Agent Force? Did you recommend Agent Force to the customers of yours? And can you paint a picture of how it felt stepping into the world of AI?
Well, I haven't stepped into the world of AI at all because my son is stepping into the world of AI. And so once he gets completely comfortable with it, he's going to teach me.
Wow.
So that's how it's going to work. I have not, I haven't bothered getting into it because most of my clients are small, and getting into AI for them, I'm just not sure how it would work. So I think after my son teaches me how to do it, then I will reach out to my various customers and clients and see if they're interested. That's, I think, that's the answer. I am waiting for my son to teach me how to do AI. I mean, I've looked at a few things, and every time Salesforce Bin or whatever writes a an article about it, I send it to my son and I say, "You need to read this."
Great.
That's
So
where I
we
am
did
with it.
in our last podcast we featured Melissa. And she did spoke about AI and positives about AI, and there
Yeah.
was one example that I shared. So I'll I am playing like so I am a donor who is visiting the website of a nonprofit,
Hmm.
and I'm looking for different causes that I want to donate for, like child
Hmm.
education, midday meals, kind of thing.
Hmm.
And I'm looking for certain cause. So I can go to the website, I can chat with the agent and ask him that I want some recommendations uh, around the cause related to kids where I want to make the donation. And Agent Force giving me a direct link that I can hit and do the donation for that nonprofit against that particular cause.
Well, that's great. That sounds wonderful. So, when my son teaches me how to do it, we will definitely talk about it with our different clients.
This is just an example. So
Yeah,
those are getting more powerful. Agent Force 3.0 is recently released, so
yeah,
that is even more uh, appealing, actually. So
yeah.
the next question that I have, if you have to define impact in one word, what it would be?
Impact. So, um, hmm, I think eventually the impact is on my clients. My clients want to have impact wherever they are. And so my job is to set up a Salesforce instance for them and to teach them how to use Salesforce and to let them know that if they work in Salesforce, they will be able to see what impact their um their ideas, their work has on their clients. So that's I think that's pretty much what I think is happening. I
And
work with them, they get into Salesforce, and then they're ready to have that impact from their clients, from the people that they are helping, because I work only with nonprofits.
yep. And that's the reason you are the legend in this space. And even I have learned so much interacting with you. You remember we did mega NPSP day in New Delhi.
Yes.
I think it was the year 2018 or 19.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the last time I've done an India Dreamin' event.
Yeah, 2018 was the last India Dream, and
Yeah.
I think our community in India loves you.
Well,
I was just talking on another call with Melissa Hildiz, and we all were talking about you if we can get you to the nonprofit Dream and there are some plans as well, but we'll keep those secret for now. But we
well,
need
that's
you.
okay. I'm planning to come to India either the last week of August or the first week of September. That is that's that's when I'm coming to India. I'll stay for 2 or 3 weeks, working in Darjeeling primarily, but if I have to take a train and come to an event, I'll be glad to. Um, but I think you said you were expecting to do it in November, and we're leaving for Argentina in November because my
Okay.
husband wants to see an island with a whole bunch of penguins on it.
Wow. Okay. Another question that I have. So, from your experience working with the nonprofits and who are using the technology in the best possible ways to not using the technology in the best possible ways. So, what is the lag that you have seen which is common across nonprofits and industry? Is it the user experience, or is it the complications or complexities related to tech or the resources, maybe?
Well, my job is to teach them how to use Salesforce. So I think when we finally finish, the training that I provide for them, they're ready to take it on. And I think that they need that training. I think that's an important part of getting into Salesforce, especially the smaller nonprofits that feel overwhelmed when they get a Salesforce instance. I train them how to do it. I train them what they need to do, and it's not that complicated, but it feels complicated to them until I train them. So
Great. And
that's how I
having a trainer like you is a dream for many, actually. So, are you, I mean, so for the new nonprofit customers that you have or the smaller in size, are you recommending NPSP, a nonprofit success pack, or is it nonprofit cloud? So, what is your
well,
recommendation for the new ones migrating to Salesforce?
the nonprofit success pack is free. The nonprofit cloud is not. So I recommend the NPSP to all of my clients, except the rich ones.
Yep.
They can decide if they want to go with the nonprofit cloud. No problem, we can do that. But the NPSP is free, and so many of the other objects like program management and all that kind of stuff, those are all free. So
Yep.
I want them to be able to they need to afford me, but they don't need to. I mean, Salesforce actually gives them the NPSP,
Yep.
and so they have the Salesforce at their fingertips from the get-go. So that makes it simpler. It just makes it much simpler just to get something free and use something free. And then later on, if they want to go with the nonprofit cloud, I have no objections. But at the very beginning, it's a good idea to learn Salesforce on a free version.
Great. Uh, if you remember, we have worked in a sprint, in a open source commons sprint, where
Mm-hmm.
we have actually set up the nonprofit success pack trial.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
And I have learned from there a lot of things. While
Yeah.
though I worked on few of the projects, but that was the point where many of the things that clicked me while setting up the trial version. So that was a great source of learning. Means SFDU sprints are really very close to heart. I've never missed a SFDU virtual sprint because I cannot travel from India all the way
Mm-hmm.
through. But I be part of every virtual sprint that has happened since March of 2020.
Wow, that's a lot of sprints.
Yeah, and I've attended so many of the sessions from you, the
Mm-hmm.
wellness sessions. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that is going to stay with me. Also, one more question: there is a product that you have built for the survey. I think, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, it is grassroots mobile survey app.
Grassroots mobile survey app. That is
Yes.
exactly the name of it. And we built it because all the other apps, all the other mobile apps out there were just too expensive for the nonprofits that I'm working with. Um, I think nowadays you have to pay because we have Heroku in the middle. We've got apps on the phones of all of the people out in the field.
Yeah.
And then we've got apps in Salesforce. I mean, the pages that the field workers are filling in. But Heroku is not free, but it's only $60 a year.
Yeah.
It's $5 a month. I mean, it's so $60 a year is way cheaper than almost any other mobile app ever. And
Right.
so I when we go to Argentina, I will be presenting the grassroots mobile survey app, and I will try to get folks that are out in the field whether they are like in Darjeeling, they're working with um, they're working with women who live in villages way the heck out in the middle of nowhere, and they're having babies, and so they have their health workers that go out there. And then before, they had this huge um, notebook, but the executive director never knew what they were doing.
Yep.
And so because of the grassroots mobile survey app, they can run reports, and they know what their health workers out there in the field are doing, and how many people they're helping, and how many children they're helping, and how many old people they're helping. And
Right.
so now the executive director feels like he knows what's going on in his own um, uh,
And here is a little cheer about the grassroots mobile survey app.
thank you.
Trish, there is one final question that I have, right? This
Okay.
podcast is only for 20 minutes. I want to continue for hours, but I think that is the limit that we have. But this conversation, I'm loving it, and I hope the viewers are going to love it too.
I
The
hope
final
so too.
question is a piece of your wisdom, is a piece of advice from you for anyone who is starting new into Salesforce. What are your recommendations for them to start and them to build a successful career along the lines?
So you're talking about people that are in organizations?
No, the people who are enthusiasts, they want to learn Salesforce and build a
Yes.
career out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
what is your piece of advice for all of those enthusiasts?
Well, I think they should just come and get some training from me. But I honestly don't think Salesforce is all that complicated, really. I mean, now maybe with Agentforce and AI and all that, that's maybe more complicated. But my son is going to teach me how to do that, and then I'll
Yeah.
be there. Right
And
on.
hopefully, when we'll meet, I'll definitely talk a lot about Agent Force. And I'm just like your son, so I'll be teaching you something, and in return, I know that I'm going to take away a lot of wisdom from you that is going to continue with me for a long time.
Well, my son is coming to India with me, so
Wow,
you'll be able to meet him.
wow, that's really amazing. And
Yeah.
uh, with all the inspirations that are around and everything that I've learned from few of the masters of tech. You are one of them, and this is my privilege to be hearing it from you today, and having you on this podcast means a lot. So I'll just take a
A lot
close,
to me
and
too.
uh, I cannot tell you how happy I am. So this is
Me
for the
too.
viewers. We are talking to the legend Trish Perkins. And thank you, Trish, for sharing your wisdom and your heart. Conversations like this remind us that technology along and alone doesn't change the world, but people do. And that is the most important thing about anything, that people are the prime of everything. Everything we do is
I
about people.
agree. Yes, I agree.
If this conversation touched you, do follow and subscribe and share it with someone who needs hope today. Until next time, keep leading with purpose, keep building with heart, and never stop believing your power to create ripples of change. This is Akash signing off from the Agents of Impact. And this is the second episode. We'll be meeting you in the third episode with a new personality from the Salesforce world. Thank you so much.